Here's a question for you, Doctor. Do you have any knowledge of, or guesses even, how these various implants interact or associate with human biology?
We have some idea. We used to think that they were being powered by the nervous system, as is UCLA now powering small motors to run servos in artificial prosthetic devices. But now we've kind of changed our opinion because we know that you can broadcast energy. And if you broadcast energy, for example, by use of a scalar wave, you can power these objects remotely. So let's just accept that as a possibility. The next thing, in reference to your question of how it's used in the human body, obviously these things we know are being used to relay information, some kind of data, a data pattern.
How do we know that? And what? For example, those who have had the implants, what are they saying? Are they saying, I hear voices, or I have ideas that I don't recognize as my own, or what?
Oh, that's a wonderful question. Now here I'm going to bring it home right in your own backyard.
Sure.
We have a radio frequency detector, and we've been able to detect radio frequencies coming out of these objects.
All right, stop right there. You're finally into an area where I sort of know what I'm talking about. What range of frequencies are you talking about, and what kind of emitted signal are you talking about?
They're in the FM band, and I unfortunately don't have the exact figures, which goes out to about a 10-digit number, but they're both in the kilohertz and megahertz range in the FM band.
You're talking about the commercial broadcast FM band?
This is a band I was able to, let's see how to put this. I was able to view a secret chart with all the frequencies from every satellite that is circling our planet, put up by every country. And these are in a category of fixed or mobile deep space frequencies. So there's either one of two things going on if you look at it logically. Either there's a deal made where the information that's being broadcast from these objects is being received here by some earthly source, and they're tapping into the information that's coming out going somewhere else. It's a piggyback sort of thing. Or what we have is again, this is more in your area than mine, so you can probably tell me, scalar wave technology. When it comes into our electromagnetic spectrum, we're getting a harmonic that looks like a radio wave, but really may not be.
Well, that's testable. That's very testable.
And we know that scalar waves are faster than the speed of light. And Tom Balone, the physicist in Washington, testified before the committee that this is a way to communicate in deep space. And you don't have to wait for 4 years to get your answer back.
Well, I deal in radio waves that go at the speed of light or just a touch below it, not with scalar waves. So I don't know a thing about scalar waves. You're saying they're faster than light.
That's correct. Some of the things we understand, some of the things we don't understand. And when we see the carbon nanotechnology involved with these orthorhombic crystals, we know that crystals, since the beginning of radio, have been a very important device for the receiving of, radio frequencies. So this is kind of advanced crystallography, if you want to put it that way. But we also see objects that we don't understand. We see gold spheres that are about 4 to 10 atoms in diameter. We don't know what they're for. We find other inclusions of metals that we don't know what they're for. I told you about the one atom apertures.
Right.
We're not sure what they do. We
All right, Dr. Leir, if I can, let me drag you back to the question I asked, and that is, and you said it was a good one. What do you know about what these people report? These people who have things in them, are they being told things? Are they aware of some communication that's being made with them? In other words, I'm looking for some clue to what these things are doing.
Okay, I'll let you have it for the full bag. Now,
sure.
Scientifically, which I like to stay with the scientific approach, opinions, are fine.
But not all of it has to be. I mean, if people are reporting that these things are controlling them or giving them ideas or communicating in some way, I understand it's not scientific, but I'd love to hear it.
Okay, well, we're looking at a different ballgame. Number one, why is the abduction phenomena going on in the first place? We have to go back to that.
Let's do it.
We know that, and I've been in 42 countries in 7 years, so it's relatively the same in the United States as it is in Brazil or in the Middle Eastern countries or in Africa. It doesn't make any difference. Some of the entities that are seen may be a little bit different, but 99%, I would say, of all abduction cases involve the taking of ova and sperm. Now, whoever is taking this thing doesn't work for the cooking channel, and they're not making omelets. So obviously there's, you've got to theorize there's some kind of a genetic experiment going on. And
I don't want to hear about sperm in the cooking channel in the same sentence.
Sorry about that. Couldn't resist. But anyway, so there's some genetic experiment going on. And I think it's an experiment, which I partially agree with David Jacobs. I think the human race is being altered. And I can give you a number of instances where this might be a factual scenario that we are witnessing now. I remember years ago, if you remember John White, who used to put on the conferences in Connecticut.
Yes.
He coined the term Homo noeticus, and he said that the human race was eventually becoming Homo noeticus. I think that's what the kids for the last 50 or 60 or 70 years are becoming. They know things. They know things without
you're right.
learning.
I know so many people have said this, Doctor, and they're called by various names, but I think it is fair to suggest that many, many children currently alive are of a kind of a different, what's the right way to say it without offending somebody? Well, almost.
It's Homo sapien becoming Homo noeticus. It's an advanced civilization. And
all right.
I think there's a lot of examples, if you want to look at the world picture.
Maybe they are not friendly. Maybe these are not nice gestures at all.
Well, let's go back to the cow.
Okay.
The cow was also at one time a calf, correct?
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed, yes.
And don't we eat veal?
Well, yes.
So
of course.
A cow is not necessarily going to make it through a lifetime where he's going to be, or she is going to be leisurely grazing in the pasture. He may be eaten by the time he's a kid.
Oh, it's true. But even then, up until that moment, life seems good.
Well, life seems good probably to a chicken. Look what we do to a fish. Or, let's say, a marine mammal. We pull them out of the water.
You're making my case, Doctor. You're making my case.
Sure.
In other words, they may or may not be our friends. And, they may have a time scale.
Well, let's say they're not.
Okay.
Let's look at how many millions of years we've been allowed to graze.
Well, again, they may have a time scale that doesn't quite match up with our clocks.
Well, why not just come here tomorrow? Well, let me put the question to you. Why wait for tomorrow? Why wait? Why wait for tomorrow? Come today. Let's do it today.
I'm all for it. Maybe. I mean, depending on what the where we're headed when they arrive.
Well, I'm more afraid of what we got now here than somewhere else.
Well, that's a well-grounded fear, I would say.
The way we're going is
I know.
Not the greatest thing in the world.
I know. All right. So anyway, again, this question: have you talked to people who have had the implants, and have they had anything to say about the way it is seemingly apparently affecting their lives, or maybe it isn't at all?
Well, that's my point. It isn't.
Okay,
at all.
you're hitting, Doctor. You're hitting touch tones once in a while by mistake.
Excuse me?
You're hitting touch tones. The tones on your phone by mistake.
No, I'm nowhere near the dial pad.
Really?
Absolutely not. I'm at least 6 feet away from it on an extended cord.
Damn it, NSA. What's the matter with those people? All right.
We'll let them hear what we have to say. They're tapping in everything anyway. Anyway, back to where we were as to what is actually being emitted from these objects. I think it's data. And I think the data is that's where we were heading before I made the comment about omelets. But since if we agree that it's a possibility, and again, I want to say, and I've said this over and over again, all over the world. If anybody gets on the air on anybody's program or in a public place, a public forum, and tells you they have all the answers, then my thing is you better put a finger in each ear and run as fast as you can go. We know there's a data stream coming out of these objects, and I believe that the data has to do with the changes in our DNA that are now occurring on a regular basis.
Okay, so you don't think it's going the other way, Doctor? You think the data is outgoing, and it's a monitoring sort of thing, not so much incoming and controlling in any way?
100%, because I'll tell you, I've talked to specific cases, a lady, for example, in Brazil that had an object, and she was told by the folks that put it in not to have it removed. And she asked them if it was a locating device, and they just showed her a bug that they stopped in a beam of light in midair. And we said that we can track this bug anywhere on this planet that we need to track it, and it doesn't need a device. And then shortly after that, I heard from some of the leading geneticists that we now know that all DNA, whether it's human or animal or whatever, all DNA contains its own specific electronic signature. So all you have to do then is be smart enough to build a device, and you can pick out anybody on the entire planet or anything. So they don't need them as tracking devices. Behavior control. Behavior control does not need a device. If you've been abducted and they look into your eye and they suggest things to you, they can block their memory. They understand the neural network. They know how to place things in your mind. They can make you see your dead relatives or whatever else they want to see, or they can make you see them as clowns or whatever. So.
Okay. I get it. I get it. So it's all outgoing data, and it probably has something to do with genetics, but they're clearly monitoring something. And
absolutely.
And again, I would ask you what are they monitoring, but you wouldn't have that answer, of course. You couldn't.
Well, my answer is the change in the genetic manipulation that's going on. Is it a successful manipulation or is it not? if we know that DNA gives off an electronic signature, it probably gives off information according to the DNA stranding.
Oh, isn't that interesting?